Thank y'all for tuning back in to your favorite channel, Pelican Bay Dog Talk and News for the day, giving it to you the way I always do. Fair and unbiased. Some gonna like it, some ain't. Man, like I always tell you, some gonna like it, some ain't. Thank you to the ones that hit that subscribe button. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be in loop when I drop the videos. Don't forget to hit that like button before you get up out of here. Drop down in them comments like your brothers and sisters always do. Big shouts out to all the Bulldogs from the north to the south to the east to the west, all the way across the world. All my Bulldogs are doing it the right way, the legal way. We're going to keep bulldogging. Let's get into that dog news for the day. All right, let's jump straight into that Bulldog talk. What I know is a trending thing when it comes to these modern day Bulldogs, maybe some old schoolers, maybe some old schoolers. Matter of fact, it's becoming a trending thing, between the dog man period, where folks want to say they outcompeted a particular kennel because they outcompeted a particular bloodline that comes from that kennel. You see, a lot of brothers do it. I done seen it across the board. Somebody can say, "Oh man, I outcompeted Tom Garner in the weight pull or the treadmill. I outcompeted Garner in the treadmill," and Garner was 1,000 miles from where they was at. Garner was 1,000 miles from where they was at. They competed against a Tom Garner bred dog. You know what I'm saying? Out competed that dog. Like they said. But where does that put them to say they out competed Tom Garner? See, that's what a lot of dog brothers do these days. You know what I'm saying? They can see whatever the pedigree says and say, "Oh, it says the Pelican Bay dog," right? These brothers somewhere over there in California or somewhere in South Carolina, it might be South Carolina that I might know him, I might don't know him. You know what I'm saying? He get out competed in whatever event he going in. And, oh, this is a pure Pelican Bay dog, right? Then, oh, we out competed Pelican Bay. You know what I'm saying? Folk do it all day long, man. I don't know why they do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they do it. Competing against a dog from that bloodline don't mean you out-competed that particular kennel. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where brothers get it twisted at, or where they want to go to that level, but, you just got to call it the way it is, man. You got to call it the way it is. Now, a little thing when I was talking about the Toby and Conway dogs, from back in the days. Like, the reason why folks were saying that, because I did a little more research. The reason why folks were saying, certain things about the Toby incident is because Conway wasn't your average dog. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't your average dog. We talking, well schooled out. You know what I'm saying? We talking over 15 times well schooled out. We talking DOA on 2 occasions. You know what I'm saying? Going in for his third, and he don't put mouth down, period. You know what I'm saying? He don't put mouth down, period. Are you kidding me? So you telling me these brothers not supposed to know how Conway is going to react? You don't think these brothers seen a Toby-style dog before? So now Conway not reacting the way he's supposed to react. And that's what happened at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? One that will put one down, known to put one down, didn't even want to put no mouth down. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell y'all brothers, man, you really have to pay attention to things, man. Pay attention to the slightest details when it comes to certain things, especially that rubbing thing, that rubbing type stuff, man. Really pay attention to details when it comes to certain stuff, because your dog might not really show you but one time. And he might show you that he don't want to do this or he don't want to bite it. Whatever kind of material that is. And if you don't pay attention, you won't see it, and you be shipped up the river, man. You be shipped up the river. But yeah, man, that's just what the story is, like I said, about the Conway and Toby incident from back in the days. Folks just say, man, Toby wasn't right. He wasn't right. That's all I know about it. That's all I know about it. Everybody paid. Everybody, everybody got happy. Everybody was happy at the end of the day. That's all that matter on y'all end, you know. But the politics that go on after the backstreet politics, said Toby wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And hey, it just is what it is, man. It is what it is. Now, what I will say, when it comes to Saber 2000, my dog Saber 2000, she's a product of Jocko and Yellow Girl. Okay, all right. Let me explain to you something. Jocko is a special dog. The Fletcher Crazy Girl breeding, which made Jocko. Like I said, I had two dogs one off that litter that Jocko came off of, and one off a younger litter after Jocko. You know what I'm saying? And I was over happy with the female, and the male I sold him as a young dog. You know what I'm saying? And he was like a light switch at first, but he was still cranking up. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have kept him, he would have been straight as well. But the female, she was off the chain, 4, 5, 6 months old. You know what I'm saying? Rear and assassin. And that's Jocko little mate sister. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about she was 35 pounds of pure pressure. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to these Big John, Little John stuff, man, I want to ask a lot of y'all brothers and a lot of the brothers who interested in buying dogs from a lot of these brothers. Do you know what an old school throwback Big John dog look like? And when I say Big John dog, I don't mean actually the Big John dog himself. I mean offspring from him. Would you know what a throwback dog look like? You know what I'm saying? When you cross out to something else. You know what I'm saying? Say if you cross out and you get your litter, would you know what a throwback walk dog look like? You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of questions a lot of y'all brothers need to be asking these brothers. Like, okay, when it comes to certain things and pushing these lines, man, we either gonna go by the dogs, or we can go by the pedigree. All right. So if we're going by the pedigree, like a lot of folk like to do, let's just go by the old dogs. You know what I'm saying? Let's go by the old dogs. So we're gonna take it back to the way in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? How I even first met, the Big John crew and Little John crew, I was riding out. Like I told y'all boys, I'd be riding looking for dogs and stuff. Riding out, and I always knew that these guys had dogs over there, but I didn't know exactly what line of dogs. I wasn't really into it like that, because you could see them, from the road. So one day we decided to pull over. You know what I'm saying? We pulled over, and the brothers was out there doing some housework to a house at the time. So we pulled up, and I was telling them I wanted to buy a puppy or whatever. So make a long story short, I ended up getting a puppy off of Champion Red John. I don't really hear a lot of y'all brothers talking about him. So I'm gonna talk about him and what I got down from him and everything else that led from that. All right. From Red John, it was Red John and Dolly. I don't see any more breedings on online ped from Red John, but one breeding. So I'm not sure exactly what y'all brothers had out there over Red John. You know what I'm saying? But we talking 90s material. You know what I'm saying? Champion Red John coming out off Big John. All right. My dog name was Chester, and he was an orange color. He was gonna be a big dog, orange color dog, and he would have been at least a 50-some pounder himself if I would have kept him till he was grown. He died at a young age, and that's when I, first met the Big John crew. But one thing I noticed, me myself, just my opinion, I'm gonna give my opinion on what I see change over the years and things that I see that may come from a lot of tight inbreeding. You know what I'm saying? And just things that come from not breeding by pedigrees, but breeding to certain dogs. You know what I'm saying? So back then, we got colors that don't even really exist in the line without going out at this moment. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, the average color that come out from the Big John, Little John stuff that I see is buckskin black mass, buckskin without the black mass, brown without the black mass. Maybe it's a small amount. It's a small amount of brown with the black mass, like how Big John and Mayday them was. Small amount of them coming out like that now, and for the most part, red nose, the orange color red nose, and the cream color red nose. Okay? Now the old colors are the same colors you got now, but all right, back then I really didn't see a whole lot of yellow dogs with the black mask. You know, I seen a few of them. You know what I'm saying? I seen a few of them. And I had Nitro. He was yellow with the black mask. But I'm talking about back when I got the Chester dog, back in them days. Some of the colors that disappeared was the light blonde brindle dog, red nose. Light blonde brindle red nose. You know, those guys were producing that in their line way back then. You know, and that color kind of disappeared. You know, and it could come from several things. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, when you breed in dogs, great dogs to great dogs, and not pedigrees, you know what I'm saying, or dogs for colors or certain things, and breeding just great to great, then sometimes you lose certain things. So, you know, when you breed to a brown dog, you know, and a red nose, and, you know, some of the dogs may be coming off yellow with the stripes and stuff in it, and you breed into the brown ones, a lot of their offspring gonna start taking the colors of the colors of the brown dogs, you know, and year after year after year as you go, not breeding to the dogs by colors and pedigrees. When you breed into best of best, you know, I guess somehow or another that color weeded out the bunch. But back in the days, that blonde red nose with the stripes in it, you know what I'm saying? That was there. Now, one thing I want to ask a lot of y'all brothers, because I don't see a lot of y'all brothers posting this. The white dogs with the big giant stuff. You know, I don't see a lot of y'all have white in y'all dogs. Back in the days, you know, a lot of the little giant stuff had white in it. Yeah, Country's a more modern day dog, but back then, a lot of the white stuff was coming down off the little giant stuff. You know, you don't really see a lot of y'all boys' dogs in with that. You know, and back then, what I did notice, you know, a lot of the dogs had bad teeth. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes the dogs had bad teeth. You know, easy to break out, real brittle. All that's been corrected. You know, that's been corrected. But what I have noticed is, over the years, we lost a lot of size in the dogs. You know, compared to you getting average 50 on up, now your average, you know, maybe 35 on up. You know what I'm saying? Between, you know, 35 on up. You know, over the years. And I think that's coming from a lot of the inbreeding and stuff like that. Maybe, you know, when we do all this inbreeding and we look for defects, we speak on deformations and, you know, special things like that. But sometimes it's just the little things like the dog becoming smaller over 10-year period of time. You know what I'm saying? This happening. Dogs only coming out these certain colors over 10-year period of time, you know what I'm saying? But we talking 30-year period of time, you know what I'm saying? Longer, really, tell you the truth, longer than that. But yeah, man, and see, a lot of y'all brothers never seen a pure white Big John dog, you know what I'm saying? A pure white one. And see, that may come from the inbreeding as well, you know what I'm saying? That may come from the inbreeding as well. I'm talking about no other marks in it, just straight white, you know? And no outs in it. You know what I'm saying? Straight yellow and Jocko on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Or yellow on the bottom of Jocko, depends on how they got it bred. You know, we're going to get into all that in a few minutes. You know? And shout out to the brothers who thought y'all was about to ride that horse, man. Ride that horse. It's back to business out here, man. It's back to business out here. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. You know, like I say, the white dogs is coming down off the little giant. Y'all ain't got that stuff in your dogs. You know what I'm saying? You're talking about this and you're talking about that. You know what I'm saying? But you're losing traits that you don't know about. A lot of y'all brothers wouldn't know about it because you wasn't around during them times. Some of y'all brothers wasn't even, you know, old enough during them times, and it ain't your fault. And that goes back to what I'm saying. Would you know a throwback dog in that line that a lot of y'all brothers claim to master? You know what I'm saying? Would you know a throwback dog in that line if you seen it? You know what I'm saying? If it came back to you from 20 years ago, you know, or did you do that much research in that line? You know what I'm saying? To know what certain dogs look like or what's what with certain dogs. You know what I'm saying? And like, you know, all the inbreeding. Now we talking about some of the tightest yellow and tightest Jocko, Chavis Jocko crosses on the planet. All right. We talking constant 30, 40, years of breeding these strain of dogs. You know what I'm saying? But we never got a black one. Never got a black and brown Rottweiler color. Off of breeding that yellow stuff back with the Jocko, which is coming down off the Mayfield stuff. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to get a black one, you're going to get it off that because it's got so much Mayfield in it. You know what I'm saying? You got an excuse to get a black one. But we never got a black Rottweiler color. I love the color. I'm going to have me one eventually, but we never got it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell y'all brothers, yeah, you might be a small kennel, or you might be a brother who done paper pelted one time in your life. You know what I'm saying? But listen here, man. Some of these big kennels out here, when them dogs coming out certain colors, coming off certain lines, something ain't right. Now, when we bred, we took a little mate sister from Champion Fatty, Crossroads Champion Fatty. We took Fatty little mate sister and bred her back to Fatty, right? We got a white one off that litter, all white one, off that litter. You know what I'm saying? Them the only two all white pit bulls I ever seen to come off of the Grand Champion yellow line inbred, back with each other. Those in my little dog career, those the only two all white ones I saw. You know what I'm saying? But this is what you gonna are you gonna recognize it? Can you recognize it? Or are you too focused on making a dollar off of it? You know what I'm saying? Or are you too focused on Rattler? Are you too focused on Buddy? Or are you too focused on Little Thunder? You know what I'm saying? You gotta know, a matter of fact, if you had a little rat now and say one of your puppies, two of your puppies look like Little Thunder, you know what I'm saying? Would you know or recognize it? You know what I'm saying? If one of your puppies look like Yellow John, not Chavis Yellow John, but the Big John Yellow John, coming down off Big John, would you recognize it? If your dog looked like Split Ears, and you use the exact replica of Split Ears, you know what I'm saying? Would you recognize it? Would you recognize it if he looked like Red John? If he was replica of CP, if your girl dog looked just like CP, would you recognize it? Saber, throughout all the different dogs is a chance that the dog pop up looking like any of them dogs. If you're just getting in, I want to say thank you for tuning in, man. Y'all rocking with your boy, PBK9s. You know what I'm saying? Giving them to them where I always do. If you want to donate to the channel, you know where I always tell you to donate at. $ Pelican Bay Kennel. You know what I'm saying? Hit that super chat up, super thanks up. I appreciate all y'all brothers and sisters that do be hitting it up. If you have any dog questions, always feel free to ask me. Any kind of questions about anything. You know what I'm saying? Always feel free to ask me. If I'm going to answer it, I'm either going to answer it or I ain't. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, check this video out. I want y'all to check this video out and just give me y'all opinion on it. What's happening? What's happening? Just taking a little stroll with Saber 2000. Taking a little stroll with Saber. Yeah, this some of that old Big John stuff, man. Some of that old Big John stuff. We ain't got none of the new breedings in this. None of the new breedings in this. All old stuff. They dog got loose out there. Let me I'm gonna see if I can help them catch it without helping them catch it. I'm gonna get in the gate. Yeah, that was crazy. Guy had looked like a poodle or some type of dog. I don't know what kind of dog. Kind of looked like Benji or something. The dog was just broke loose and running like a wild horse. And he ran all up in the city area, all up by the highway over there. So hopefully they catch him. But yeah, man, Saber got about a little under 3 weeks left, man. She look like she might got something in the oven. I don't know, man. Look like she got something in the oven. Like I say, this that old Big John stuff right here, man. No disrespect to none of the new stuff, because I love it. But it's the old stuff right here, man. Saber. Let's take a low look. See how she looking from the bottom end? Yes, sir, man. And see, when it comes to the Big John and Little John dogs, everybody gonna have a different view and a different outlook on certain things, you know what I'm saying? Because it just depends on what dogs you know of out of that strain of dogs, you know what I'm saying? If I started getting dogs directly off Big John, getting dogs directly off Little John, you know, I'm basing my judgment off a lot of that stuff as well as the modern day dog. You know what I'm saying? I want to get my dog either to Little John or Big John level or better. You know, I want to get them to their level or better. So, you know, I'm keeping in mind about Little John and Big John. A lot of folk just start, you know, only sing Buddy. Some folk ain't never even seen Buddy, period. They just heard of him. You know what I'm saying? Ain't never seen none of the dogs, period. Don't even know what you're going to get, really. You see the pedigree, you don't know what you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? If you haven't seen any of them dogs, you know what I'm saying, just be honest with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You got a great yard, or you might got, you know, a great vision as well. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm talking about don't mean you're not a great dog man. You know what I'm saying? But if you haven't seen any of them dogs, period, you know what I'm saying, then you just going by pedigrees and he say, she say. You know what I'm saying? And for folk to be claiming brothers not doing good on this side, only brothers doing good with them is that count. It shows a lot of brothers buying them dogs that ain't seen them dogs. You know what I'm saying? A majority of y'all brothers ain't seen them dogs. Period. You know what I'm saying? And you still copping. You know? And shouts out to you, no kudos to you. And I'm sure you're getting great dogs, you know what I'm saying, willing to take a chance. And when you took that chance, you were like, oh man, yeah, boy, ooh, things that right. But it's just different, man, with different views. You know, when I talk about the dog, you know, a lot of y'all, you gotta understand, you know, I'm looking at it from a different view than some brothers. Some brothers might look at it from a different view than me, you know, on certain things. But I'm looking at it from boom. I had buku dogs directly off Little John. I had buku dogs directly off Big John. So ask yourself this right here, brothers. What would you rather have? A pure Big John dog or a pure Little John dog? Now, ask yourself this, brother. Have you ever had a pure Little John dog or a pure Big John dog? I'm going to wait a few seconds for one of y'all to drop down in the comments to let me know if you ever had a pure Big John dog. Somewhere or another, it had to have an out, of course. But we talking about that bred all the way back with nothing but Big John. You know what I'm saying? All the way back with nothing but Little John. You know? And let me sit back for a couple seconds to give your brothers time enough to answer that question. All right, that's enough time. All right, I'm going to say, you know what I'm saying, not knocking what no brother say or what no brother did, you know what I'm saying, because you might know something I don't know. I don't know it all, you know what I'm saying. But I will say, for the most part, a lot of brothers, maybe for the most part, majority of us have never had a pure Big John or a pure Little John dog because those brothers always did it 50-50, you know, or either they went another, you know, added a little more Big John in it or added a little more Little John in it, you know what I'm saying, from day one, you know, and so you can't really never say you ever had a pure Little John dog that came off of that stuff or a pure Big John dog that came off of that stuff because all of it has been crossed back into each other. Whether it was Little John or Big John or whoever it was, all of it been crossed back into each other. So it'd have been hard to say you got a pure Little John dog. But just my opinion, you know, and I'm just one dog man amongst thousands out there, you know. I like the Little John stuff better than I like the Big John stuff. More quicker dogs, gave me more athletic dogs, more smaller dogs, although some of the dogs were big, off Little John, but like I said, you never got a pure Little John dog. It was Big John on the bottom side, so that's a good reason for the dogs to be big. But for the ones that I saw, I seen a lot of them, big ones and small ones, and Little John really threw a lot of athletic style dogs, you know what I'm saying? Big John threw some great ones as well, but my percentages with the Big John and the Little John dogs, I'm talking about coming directly off Big John and directly off Little John. And this is post Big John. After Big John was done, dead. You know what I'm saying? This is not why he was living. Post Big John, I like the Little John stuff better. You know what I'm saying? I like the Little John stuff better. Now, my next question is, how could you brothers go to finesse the breeding? Okay, now I know I like the Little John stuff better. My thing is, as a dog man, yeah, I'm getting it from another kennel, and he got his thing set up. But if I like the Little John stuff better, I try to breed for the Little John traits that I know about. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going way back in the days, you know what I'm saying? For the dogs when I first seen the dogs. You know what I'm saying? Not going to start with Buddy. I'm not starting with Rattler. You know what I'm saying? I'm not starting with none of them dogs. You know what I'm saying? None of them dogs. Wrangler, Quick, none of them dogs. Period. We're going way back. You know what I'm saying? Not starting with split ears, none of them. I'm talking about I had split ears brothers. You know what I'm saying? We just going back, man. And when you start going back to the foundation, to the head of that, that's when you can distinguish how you want to breed certain things. You know what I'm saying? Just going by Rattler got a 7 or 9 time wins or something like that. Just going by that and trying to have Rattler in your pedigree as much as you can. That's great, because he's a great dog. But at the end of the day, Rattler was the image of another dog, whether it was Little John or whether it was Yellow John or, all the dogs before his time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to learn the pedigree that you dealing with, learn that inside out. You know what I'm saying? No matter what bloodline you dealing with, learn it inside out, from the top to the bottom, all the ends, dings, and the bells and everything. You know what I'm saying? Learn everything about it, man. And then you'll know when you get the throwback dogs. You'll know what bad traits they had. If it was a lot of inbreeding and stuff, what traits they had that was bad, what traits they had that was good. You'll know different things on it, and it makes it more of a puzzle, or makes it more of a mystery, or more of a challenge to try to put your own little sauce together when you know more things about that particular bloodline. You know what I'm saying? When you just fishing for pedigrees, you don't know nothing from the pedigree. Don't tell you nothing about the bloodline, period, besides who the dog's coming off of. You don't know what styles they were. You don't know what sizes they were. You don't know what colors they were unless somebody posts a picture. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what health the health was with them dogs. You know what I'm saying? You don't know nothing about these dogs. You know what I'm saying? Period. Folk not telling you. Folk ain't gonna tell you that wrong kind of breeding or the wrong kind of inbreeding with these dogs. With these Big John and Little John dogs, sometimes you get sterile dogs. You know what I'm saying? And that come from inbreeding and different things. It's just paying attention to a line that you're gonna deal with and knowing it. Once you do that, man, it'll make a difference if you come through a bad batch of dogs. You know what I'm saying? But if you did what you were supposed to do, the line will be a top of the line regardless. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have your bad bunch to come through. Just do what you got to do with them and keep it stepping, keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? But when you deal with a line and you're serious about a line, there's no way you can't have good dogs on it. And I'm not talking about any particular line. I'm talking about any line. Once you start dealing with that line and you weeding out the good and the bad, man, you're going to come with some excellent dogs. I don't care what line of dogs you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You just going to come with them. It's just about patience, taking time, doing what you got to do, getting the right stock on your yard. Now, I do want to show y'all the last Big John puppy I bought, myself personally. that was directly off Big John. Was This is like 2012. 2012. Um, Here's the puppy right here. Her name was Chewy. I sold her to somebody as a young pup. You know, sold her to somebody as a young pup, and that was the last one I bought directly off Big John, and that was off Big John, and I want to say Shakur. You know, and that was in 2012. But yeah, man, you just gotta know these lines, man. That way you can be aware when you get, when certain things pop up in these lines. You can be aware, and you won't be in the blind. Basically, you won't be in the blind, man. You won't be in the blind. But yeah, I ain't keeping y'all here too long, man. Just gonna give y'all a good, short, and sweet one. You know what I'm saying? Good, short, and sweet. Because we look for that inbreeding. When we doing all this inbreeding, like I said before, when we doing all this inbreeding, we looking for to see if something wrong, like a leg gone or a missing eyes hanging out, or stomach inside out. We looking for all that type of stuff. But little do we know, stuff is happening right there in front of your eyes. You know what I'm saying? The dog is transforming right there in front of your eyes, and you may not think nothing is wrong, but there's a lot of things wrong. Sometimes too much inbreeding causes bad mama dogs. You know what I'm saying? Dogs that just don't have no kind of patience with their puppies. Too much inbreeding can cause dogs that won't breed. Dogs that just want to fight all the time. They, no matter how much the female dog can heat, they just want to fight all the time. They're not thinking about breeding. And that can come from too much inbreeding. But yeah, man, like I said, I ain't gonna keep y'all in here too long. Just showing you a few dogs. You know what I'm saying? Just talking about, some of the blood I'm running. Like I said, it's that old Big John blood. It ain't the new stuff. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the new stuff, because I got that on my yard as well. But it's the old stuff, man. It's the old stuff. Stuff, like I said, you trace back into the third and the fourth pedigree. We talking about dogs from the 90s. That's in the third pedigree, dogs from the 90s. And like I say, a lot of brothers, they really can't say that they didn't go out over that longer period of time. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about out like to studs, taking their females out to other studs. You know what I'm saying? Taking their females out to this dog, taking their females out to that dog. And one thing I know, these brothers been breeding that heavy Jocko strain for many, many, many years. You know what I'm saying? Heavy Jocko. Y'all brothers got the termite stuff out there. You know what I'm saying? But if you ask me, the termite stuff is not showing the traits of termite. At least the termite stuff that I'm seeing advertised. Heavy termite, pure termite dogs. They don't look like termite. You know what I'm saying? And that's not saying anything bad about you brothers breeding. Because like I always say, as soon as I talk about a dog, I had that dog in my yard. It'll be a month later and I had that same dog I done talk trash about in my yard. It just end up that damn way, man. You know what I'm saying? So I might end up with a termite dog, you know what I'm saying, next month or so. Now, I ain't going to keep y'all here too long, like I always say. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the dogs, the line that I'm running. Y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal. Like I always say, we don't condone anything illegal. If you're rocking with it, go ahead and pass on by. Everything that we talk about is historical stories, fictional accounts, or facts when it comes to modern day keeping the American Pit Bull Terrier healthy and on top of the game. You know what I'm saying? So y'all stay safe from the east to the north to the south to the west, across the world when it comes to these pit bulls, bulldogs, or dogs in general. Pelican Bay Canines, and I'm out.